The exact purpose of the taxation on blueberries in Maine is as follows. The production and marketing of wild blueberries is one of the most important agricultural industries of the state, and this chapter is enacted into law to conserve and promote the prosperity and welfare of this state and of the wild blueberry industry of this state by fostering research and extension programs, by supporting the development and promotional opportunities and other activities related to the wild blueberry industry. The rate of the blueberry tax is levied and imposed a tax at the rate of 1.5 cents per pound on all wild blueberries processed in this state and on all unprocessed wild blueberries shipped to a destination outside this state. The tax is computed on the gross weight of the wild blueberries as delivered prior to any processing or shipping. The processor that first receives unprocessed wild blueberries in this state, or the shipper that transports unprocessed wild blueberries to a destination outside the state, is responsible for reporting and paying the tax. A processor or shipper responsible for reporting and paying the tax imposed by this section shall charge and collect half of the tax levied under this section from the seller. A processor or shipper who fails to obtain certification commits a civil violation for which a fine of not more than $5,000 may be adjudged. A processor or shipper of wild blueberries shall obtain certification from the assessor before processing or shipping wild blueberries. The assessor shall provide the applications for the certification, which must contain the name under which the processor or shipper is transacting business in the state, the place or places of business, the names and addresses of the persons constituting a firm, company, or partnership, and, if a corporation, the corporation name and the names and addresses of its principal officers and agents in the state. A processor or shipper may not process or ship wild blueberries until the certification has been issued. The tax impacts three major groups: the shipper, receiver, and the consumer. But we will be comparing only the shipper and receiver point of view, as the tax affects both drastically. The law for shippers is, a person may not transport wild blueberries in quantities exceeding 25 pounds without first obtaining a transportation permit on an official form to be furnished by the Wild Blueberry Commission of Maine. The Wild Blueberry Commission of Maine shall issue upon request uniquely numbered transportation permit forms to owners. Owners shall issue the transportation permits to first haulers or shippers who transport wild blueberries directly from the field from which the wild blueberries were harvested. Each transportation permit issued automatically expires on the 30th of September in the year in which it was issued. Now, the law for the receivers states, a receiver of wild blueberries shall keep a permanent record of each lot or load of wild blueberries. The record must include the name of the driver of the vehicle used to deliver the wild blueberries, the day of delivery, the delivery point, a copy of the transportation permit, the driver's license number, and total pounds of wild blueberries delivered. It is considered unlawful for a shipper or processor to receive or accept delivery of wild blueberries without first inspecting the transportation permit of the driver of the vehicle used to deliver the wild blueberries and creating a permanent record.
Tax on wild blueberries deters people from overpicking the state's most important resource. Due to the tax, the price of wild blueberries increases and quantity demanded would stay constant. Quantity demanded would stay constant due to the fact that Maine people would still pay a higher price for their blueberries. People would still pick the same amount of blueberries because the demand is so high. Especially with the recent trend of farm-to-table dining, people are willing to spend the extra money to get local quality produce. The economics of this policy are a tax at the rate of 1.5 cents per pound on all wild blueberries processed in Maine and on all unprocessed wild blueberries shipped to a destination outside of Maine. Quantity supplied will remain constant and so will demand. This tax affects the farmers the most because they harvest blueberries in such large amounts that the price of the blueberries will increase. This leads into the next group of people affected by the tax, the final consumer. There will not be a huge jump in price because blueberries are purchased in small, lightweight amounts. Although there will be a slight increase in price, it will not avoid consumers from purchasing. We agree with this tax because the Maine blueberries need to be protected in some way or another. If farmers keep picking so many, the harvest will be less each year, and there will not be very many healthy blueberry plants left in Maine. This tax is not a very hefty tax that is going to close down small farms. It makes the farmers aware of the situation and to be mindful of the future when harvesting.